Hello, everyone. Good evening. How are you doing? Yes, once again, we are here today, this Sunday evening at 10 p.m., with our new episode on Career Growth Talks. दोस्तों, क्या आपको कुछ बचपन की बातें याद होगी? मतलब ऐसा कुछ किस्सा जैसा कि मैं अपना वाला शेयर कर रहा हूँ, एंड देन यू कैन थिंक ऑफ वेदर यू आल्सो हैड सिमिलर काइंड ऑफ स्टोरी ड्यूरिंग योर चाइल्डहुड और नॉट. What used to happen is sometimes we used to visit a friend's house, and मेरे दोस्त के मम्मी पूछते थे, क्या बेटा कुछ खाना चाहोगे? आई यूज टू टेल, नहीं आंटी, खाना नहीं है. नो आंटी, आई एम नॉट इंटरेस्टेड इन ईटिंग एनीथिंग. Well then, auntie still used to give me the food, insisting me कि नहीं बेटा, खा लो. I'm sure you had similar kind of experiences in your childhood also. Well, what is this? What is this exactly? So if you look at this particular episode of our childhood, आपको क्या दिखता है इसमें? Well, दोस्तों, इसमें यह है कि as a child हम लोग मना करते थे कि हमें खाना नहीं है दोस्त के घर, जब आंटी is asking us whether we want a food or not. ना हमें मालूम है कि मम्मी डांटेगी घर में जाने के बाद, राइट? इसीलिए हम लोग मना करते थे, नहीं आंटी मुझे नहीं खाना. बट आंटी somehow used to know that we are actually interested to eat, and therefore auntie used to insist us, नहीं बेटा खाना पड़ेगा आपको, you have to eat it. So yes, friends, so that's what the topic of today's discussion. हम मतलब आंटी के घर खाना खाना, that's not the topic of discussion. The topic of discussion is जब कोई ये सुनने का कोशिश करते हैं जो हम लोग बताते नहीं है. When somebody listens to you in the true sense, even words which you have not spoken, we call it the power of listening skill. To be precise, we call it active listening skill. And that's what the topic of discussion for today evening. So friends, just to give you a little bit of background, who am I? Well, my name is 𝙗𝙤𝙪𝙧. I'm a certified trainer and also an ICF certified coach. Specifically, I coach related to life, career, and executive. And this part of the show is related to your career. So pay attention. Okay, now, as I say every time, that in case you have any comments to share, please go ahead and put it on the comment section. And I'll be showing your comment here live to everyone. So by comment, what kind of things you can comment? Obviously, if you like the content, you can say that you like it, right? At the same time, if you have anything to share related to the content based on your personal experience, based on your working experience, please go ahead and share, and we can also discuss on the point that you'll be sharing. And by doing that, you might be helping somebody else to learn something new today. Won't that be great? Oh yes, बहुत बढ़िया रहेगा वो. Okay, now कुछ बातें जो आपको ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में सुनने को मिलते हैं दूसरों से. कभी कभी आपने, suppose you have explained something to other people and then you asking, किसी को कुछ बोलना है, कुछ लोग बोलते हैं नहीं, I have nothing to say. The question is, when somebody says I have nothing to say, do they really mean it? Do they have to say something, and because of something they're not able to say? So active listening is something wherein you actually listen to what the person has not said. Sometime if you ask somebody that किसी को कुछ पूछना है, लोग बोलते हैं no, I don't have any question, I'm pretty clear. But even you will see that speakers who are very, very skilled, they can able to catch even those kind of responses wherein people say कि मुझे कुछ नहीं पूछना है, मुझे कुछ नहीं जानना है, सब हो गया, सब जान लिए, पूरा क्लियर हो गया, बट फिर भी ये लोग पकड़ लेते हैं कि आपको एक्चुअली कुछ जानना है, कुछ पूछना है. Now there was a study that was done as you know, sometimes हमें ये भी जरूरी है कुछ numbers देखना, कुछ study surveys देखना. So there was a survey that was done, and then it was found out that people spend between 70 to 80% of the day in some sort of communication. Verbal हो सकता है, written communication हो सकता है, some sort of communication they spend 70 to 80% of their time. हम लोग कभी कभी सोचते हैं कि थोड़े टाइम चुप भी रहना चाहिए, राइट? यस, ट्रू. मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम्स वी आर एक्चुअली कम्युनिकेटिंग समथिंग टू द अदर पर्सन. ऐसा जरूरी नहीं है कि जब आप बातें नहीं करते हो तो आप कम्युनिकेशन नहीं करते हो, तभी भी आप कम्युनिकेशन करते रहते हो, राइट? एंड 55% of our time is actually devoted in listening to others. But फिर भी listening is a skill which is not paid attention to. क्यों? क्योंकि हम सबको बात करना अच्छा लगता है, सुनना ज्यादा अच्छा नहीं लगता. हम चाहते हैं कि our voices should be heard first, right? Then I will listen to you. अरे पहले पहले मुझे बोलने दो, उसके बाद देखेंगे कि आपको क्या कहना है, वो बाद में सुनेंगे, right? Now, it is also realized by organizations that poor listening skills among the employees actually results into lower profits. अच्छा, ये कैसे होता है? लिसनिंग स्किल के साथ प्रॉफिट किस तरह से कनेक्टेड हो गया? Now, profit इस तरह से कनेक्टेड होता है because profit at the end of the day is also connected to the losses, right? So, यदि incur more losses, that means somewhere your profit of the organization is getting impacted. और जब हम लोग ठीक तरह से सुनते नहीं है बातें, it actually impacts the organization's profit. कुछ example. मान लीजिए, if it is a communication related to safety in your organization, there's a safety communication being given to the employees कि आपको क्या करना चाहिए, क्या नहीं करना चाहिए. And during that safety instruction, somebody has not paid attention to what exactly is being told, which resulted in a massive incidents in the organization. Now, agar वैसा होता है, then I'm sure you can understand that the impact of that incident or accident in the organization can impact the profitability of the organization. और वो किस लिए हुआ? Because किसी ने ठीक तरह से सुना नहीं था. Whatever the safety instruction that was given to the employee, right? It can be very dangerous. Apart from that, suppose you are working on a very, very critical project for the organization and there were certain expectations from the project which were explained to you by the management, but आपने सुना नहीं ठीक से. And because आपने सुना नहीं ठीक से, 6 महीना बीत गया प्रोजेक्ट में काम करते हुए, रिजल्ट जो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को चाहिए था वो आया नहीं. So the time, effort, money, energy, whatever was invested did not able to generate the response or the revenue and the result that the organization expected. So हुआ ना impact profitability में? Oh yes, of course it happens. If we are not listening properly, then in an organization kind of situation, it may impact the profitability of the organization also. And more so, your poor listening skill may impact somebody's life also, right? The example of the safety instruction that we talked about, oh yes, it may be fatal to somebody's life, right? It may impact your job, because if you are a person who is not listening carefully and doing wrong things which are not supposed to be done, जो आपको करना नहीं चाहिए था, वो अगर आप continuously regular लगातार करते रहोगे, then it may impact your job. And obviously peace of mind, stress, ये करना चाहिए था आपने नहीं किया, तो आपको डांट सुनने पड़ेंगे अपने बॉस से, राइट? सो योर पीस ऑफ माइंड goes for a toss, sixer, right? So that's how it is so very important. Now when we talk about listening का मतलब क्या है? Listening means you are actually trying to understand the other person's point of view. खाली सुन नहीं रहे हो. लिसनिंग इज डिफरेंट फ्रॉम हियरिंग. आपने सुना होगा ये बातें, राइट? बहुत सारे ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम में, बहुत सारे बुक्स में आपने पढ़ी होगी. बट इसका मीनिंग क्या है? हियरिंग, हम तो हमेशा सुन रहे हैं कुछ ना कुछ, बिकॉज गॉड हैज गिवन दिस पर्टिकुलर इंस्ट्रूमेंट टू अस, फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट दिया है, राइट? फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट मिला है, राइट? खरीदना नहीं पड़ा. सो वी हियर सो मेनी थिंग्स, बट डू यू रियली लिसन? वेल, नॉट exactly, right? So listening means you are actually trying to understand the other person's point of view, कि वो क्या बोलना चाहते हैं. And when we talk about active listening, well, active listening means you are listening with your all senses, and not only this instrument, but your mind, your body, your entire focus is at completely, you are paying attention to the person who is speaking, and you're listening to that person completely. इसको हम लोग बोलते हैं active listening. So दोस्तों, today we will be talking about 3 ways to develop your active listening skill at workplace. Oh yes, we are actually giving more focus on what you're supposed to do at your workplace, because this is related to your career. So personal level mein, obviously, if this kind of tips you apply in your personal life, there also you are going to see results. But we are more interested to see you successful in your career. So that's why let's jump into what are these 3 ways that you can develop your active listening skill. Now सबसे पहला चीज जो है वो ये कहते हैं कि understand the context before you jump into the content of the talk. Context का मतलब क्या है? Context का मतलब ये है कि about what topic the speaker is going to talk about. Do you understand that particular topic? अगर आपको उस टॉपिक के बारे में इंटरेस्ट नहीं है, आप कुछ भी नहीं समझते हो, सो जब वो बंदा बात करेगा सब कुछ ऊपर से चला जाएगा, है ना? होता है कभी कभी, राइट? हम लोग इतना इंटरेस्ट दिखा के किसी का बातें सुनने के लिए आते हैं, लेकिन बाद में पता चलता है कि अरे ये जिस टॉपिक के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं ये तो मेरा टॉपिक नहीं है, एंड आई एम नॉट इंटरेस्टेड आल्सो इन दिस टॉपिक. सो सब ऊपर से निकल जाता है. सो इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर यू, इफ यू रियली want to work on improving your listening skills, then before going into listening to somebody, hearing somebody, please understand the context. Now context किस तरह से आप जान सकते हो? Well, one way of doing it is do some homework on the topic. And when you do some homework, well, how do you do the homework? First of all, अगर टॉपिक आपको पता चल गया कि इस बारे में ये बंदा बात करने वाले हैं, then सबसे पहला चीज ये, is the topic is important for you? Now, why that question, is the topic is important for you? हो सकता है कि ये टॉपिक आपको इंटरेस्टिंग ना हो, बट फिर भी इंपॉर्टेंट हो आपके जॉब के लिए, आपके काम के लिए. कम से कम इतना तो पता कर लीजिए before you go and attend that particular speech. The second thing is also important from a context point of view is take time to know your speaker, who the speaker is. In a corporate environment, it may be your manager, it may be your manager's manager, it may be the CEO of the company, or it may be the financial head, the legal head of the organization who is going to address the employees. So know the speaker, who the speaker is. If the speaker is head of legal and he is going to address all the employees in the organization, then you know that the context of the discussion will be something related to legality. He's not going to talk about technology, right? That's for sure. Now the question is, do you know the speaker? Try to understand who is the person who will be speaking. What is his way of communication when he speaks? Low pitch, high pitch, speed से बोलते हैं, slow बात करते हैं, इंग्लिश में बोलते हैं, दूसरे लैंग्वेज में बोलते हैं, वो सारे की सारी चीजें जानना जरूरी है. हाँ, क्या होता है ऐसा होने से? अगर आपका कॉन्टेक्स्ट समझ में आ जाए, आपका ब्रेन ट्यून रहेगा when you are hearing, because you already filtered the topic, the interest, the importance, the delivery person who is going to deliver the speech. So आपने वो होमवर्क कर लिया होगा. इसीलिए जब आप सुनते हो, the chances that you will be able to hear properly increases manifold. So that's the first thing that you need to do. Uh, what is the second tip? Well, the second tip for you, please ensure that you check your environment. अच्छा, एनवायरनमेंट कहाँ से आ गया यहाँ पे? हम लोग ईएसजी में ईएसजी के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं क्या? नो, नॉट एग्जैक्टली, हम लोग ईएसजी के बारे में बात नहीं कर रहे हैं यहाँ पे. व्हेन वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द एनवायरनमेंट, यू अंडरस्टैंड दिस. सो व्हेन यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द एनवायरनमेंट, वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द सराउंडिंग्स. आपके आसपास कैसा है? जब आप किसी की बातें सुन रहे हो, आपके आसपास, अरे आप कोई फैक्ट्री के अंदर हो क्या? फैक्ट्री के सामने, फैक्ट्री के अंदर मशीनों की आवाज आ रही है, खटाखट खटाखट खटाखट, एंड उस टाइम में आप किसी का स्पीच सुन रहे हो. वेल, कोई फायदा नहीं है, बंद कर दो जो सुन रहे हो, बिकॉज अंदर नहीं जाएगा कुछ भी, राइट? और यू आर लिसनिंग टू समबडी व्हेन योर बेबी इज क्राइंग एट होम. वेल, अगेन, it is not the right environment for you to listen to somebody or something very important for you, right? So इसीलिए environment बहुत ही जरूरी होता है. So what exactly we are saying here? So please check if you're in between any distraction. So if you're in between any distraction, you can opt for not talking to that person, not hearing that person at that moment. आप request कर सकते हो कि भाई साहब, क्या मैं थोड़ी देर बाद आपके साथ बात कर सकती हूँ, बिकॉज राइट नाउ आई एम इन ए डिफरेंट एनवायरनमेंट, आई वोंट बी एबल टू पे अटेंशन टू व्हाटएवर यू से. कभी कभी ऐसा होता है कि हम लोग वो मना नहीं करते, वो बात क्लियरली नहीं बोलते हैं. कोई अगर आपको फोन करके बोलता है कि कैन आई टॉक टू यू, वी इमीडिएटली से दैट यस यू कैन टॉक टू मी. वी आर नॉट रियलाइजिंग दैट वी आर इन ए प्लेस वेर इन वी कैन गेट डिस्ट्रैक्टेड. There are a lot of disturbances, हमें सुनाई नहीं देगा उनकी बातें, and as a result there can be miscommunication. But किसी को ना बोलना अच्छा नहीं लगता, हमने बोल दिया हाँ हाँ बात कर सकते हैं. So please don't do that. Please check your environment. Also, another thing you should be checking is, please ensure that, yes, health check, right? Both your body and your mind. Are you feeling healthy? कुछ आपको बॉडी का इश्यू तो नहीं हो रहा है? पेट में बुदबुदे तो नहीं उठ रहे, राइट? आपका सर दर्द तो नहीं है? आपको आंखों में परेशानी तो नहीं है? Now please check on all those signs related to your health, because अगर आपका हेल्थ सही नहीं होगा and you are listening to somebody, your attention will not be on the speaker but on your body, the pain, the problem that you're facing in your body, and thereby listening जाएगा तेल लेने. So that's very important. Please check that you are not having any physical discomfort. At the same time, please check your mind health also. हो सकता है कि आप बहुत दुखी हो, आपके लाइफ में ऐसा कुछ हुआ है which has actually given you a lot of pain, lot of concern, lot of sadness, and thereby you are not in a peaceful mind to actually pay attention. होता है कभी कभी, राइट? आपके लाइफ में अगर कुछ सदमा हुआ हो, आपके लाइफ में कुछ अगर ऐसा इंसिडेंट हुआ हो जिसके चलते आपका माइंड खाली वहीं पे जा रहा है, उसी टाइम में कोई अगर कुछ बातें करे, आपने लोगों को देखा होगा, यू माइट हैव सीन पीपल दैट यू हैव स्पोकन समथिंग very important to somebody, and the next one the person said, when you ask, so what do you think, and the person says, oh sorry, about what? So that means the person didn't hear you out, right? Because his mind was not in the right condition to hear to you. So that's why for you in a work kind of a situation, it is very important. Please check your physical health and your mental health. Are you in a good condition, right? So that's the second thing which is very important. Well, what is the third tip for you to become an active listener? The third thing comes later, when you have already checked tip number 1, tip number 2, and all those things are done properly. Then you come to number 3. Well, in number 3, what you're supposed to do, make note. la. So what exactly note क्या लिखना है? जो बातें बताई जा रही है उसमें से जो जो पॉइंट इंपॉर्टेंट है आपको लगता है उसको नोट कीजिए. कुछ लोगों का आदत है बहुत लंबी लंबी खाली लाइनें लिख जाते हैं बट सुनते नहीं है. नो, दैट इज नॉट गुड. अगेन, व्हेन वी से make note could be the important things. For example, there is a particular event that is going to happen in an organization and you are being asked to manage that event. So when the person is explaining to you about the event, you are going to note down the important points: the date of the event, the name of the event, how many people will be invited, what are the timings, what is the cost, so on and so forth. So those are the things you'll be noting. ऐसा नहीं है कि जो बोल रहे line by line लिखते जाओ. No, that's not the intention. So the main points you will be noting down, and after that you will also be supposed to ask questions to clarify your doubts. कि मैंने सही सुना क्या आपने ये बताया, right? So what you need to check is check with the speaker what you have understood. आपको क्या समझ में आया, स्पीकर के साथ चेक कीजिए. Most of the cases you will say that this particular aspect people miss. अरे क्या पूछना, अगर पूछेंगे तो वो क्या सोचेंगे कि क्या तुमको सुनाई नहीं देता था जब मैं बता रहा था, राइट? तो इसीलिए पूछना नहीं है. Don't do that because that particular shyness may cost you heavy. Oh yes, I mean it. We are talking about a corporate situation. We are talking about a office situation. If you, just because of shyness, you didn't ask the person that whether your understanding is correct or not, then you may have to pay a heavy cost for that. So please don't shy away and ask the person that whether you have understood or not exactly what the person wanted you to understand. That is it what you are saying? Either the person will say yes, you are right, or the person will say no, I didn't mean that, I meant this 1 2 3 things. So clarify that things. When you clarify, the communication becomes clear. Many times with many people, they think that right communication is the responsibility of the speaker. Oh well, you are wrong. Right communication is equally responsibility of the listener, not only the speaker. So as a listener, please pay attention to what you are hearing and whether you have listened everything that was told or not. Now remember this particular point that I'm bringing it up here, that when you repeat exactly what the other person wanted to communicate, it would mean that you have listened completely. It would mean that you have been an active listener. As I said, giving example of our childhood, as an active listener, ये बहुत जरूरी है आपके लिए कि आप पूरे सेंसेस से सुने अगला क्या बता रहा है, पूरे बॉडी माइंड फोकस के साथ सुने. बहुत सारे टाइम ऐसा होता है कि लोग बताते नहीं what they actually mean, they say the other thing. And in your corporate situation, when you are actually dealing with a person who is depressed and you are actually counseling that person from a work point of view, many a times you can actually face a situation wherein the person is saying the other thing what the person mean. That means, suppose आपने किसी को पूछा कि आपको इस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में कोई प्रॉब्लम आ रहा है, and the person has responded, no, everything is okay here. Look at the tone of the person in which the person is responding. नहीं, यहाँ पे तो सब कुछ ठीक है. And looking at the tone, try to understand that he or she doesn't mean what he or she is speaking. And that's what is called active listening. पूरे सेंसेस के साथ किसी को सुनना, जिसमें आपको जो बातें बताई नहीं गई हैं उसे भी आप सुन सको. If you can do that, you are truly an active listener. So dosto, that's what I wanted to share with all of you, because this is considered to be one of the topmost skills which in the next 10 years is going to differentiate a successful professional as against not so successful professional, because this is something which is related to your communication skill. Communication skill is going to play a big role in the next 5 to 10 years. To stay competitive in your job, ensure that you develop your communication skill, and for that ensure that you develop your active listening skill. So dosto, please go ahead and share this particular video with others if you think that somebody else may get benefited from what exactly we have described. And if you have any comments, if you have any instances to share with all of us, please go ahead and put it in the comment box. And that way your words will also get spread, and that way you'll be also helping somebody else who needs that particular help. So with that, we come to the end. Thank you so much for being here, and I wish you a good night. See you once again next week. Take care. Bye bye.